G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. We've got a 9-race card from Randwick, just your standard early winter card, so to speak, but it's a pleasure to be joined by, as always, Mark Shean and Mark Rhoden. Mark Shean, I'll start with you. How's this card looking up at Randwick?
Well, it's a prediction of maybe some rain tomorrow and very strong winds, so that does seem to affect Randwick greatly, the wind factor, so might be a headwind in the back straight and chasing them home up the straight, and maybe a chance of some showers. So, I don't know how much rain we're going to get, but this track does seem to fall apart pretty quickly. So we'll just have to monitor what we get throughout the day, I suppose.
Okay. Sounds
Rail
nice
in the true, so might be slightly off on the fence.
Yep. Mark Rhoden, have you got any game plan, so to speak, with this card?
Not a particularly strong one. What Mark mentioned, that wind at 40-odd kilometres southerly, that doesn't happen very often. Sometimes it can favour on paces out of the chute, and it might counteract that normal fence-off pattern with the true rail to some extent, but very much wait and see, I think.
Okay. Just for some of the viewers who might not know about the Randwick chutes, what's the difference between the two chutes or the two starting positions there?
Well, there's three, actually. There's the 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 come out of a chute, which is basically just one turn.
Yep.
Straight run to the home turn at just over 400 metres from home. Then there's the 1,400 metre chute, where the 1,100 metre races run, which is just on a slighter angle than that. And then there's the 1,600 metre races, which start in the back straight. So, the chute is basically at 90 degrees, more or less, to the back straight. So the wind has a vastly different effect on the chute to these circle races.
Okay. Let's have a look at these quaddie leagues. We'll start off with race 6, which is an open handicap over 1,100 metres. In terms of the market, Marway is favourite around the $2.70 mark. Then you're out to Enchanted Heart at $6. Southern Lad, best available, $11. You've got Adelong actually as well at around $9.50. So that's your market there for race 6. Mark Shean, kick us off.
Yeah, I think where the track ends up will have a big bearing on this race. Marway, if the track's not too bad, obviously the one to beat. But if we've got a deteriorating track, probably got to be some question mark about him. He was beaten as a 2's-on favourite at Rockhampton. He's failed at Canterbury on a wet track, even though that day they didn't ride him for speed. They rode him off the pace, so you could probably make that a forgive run. Look, if there's a bit of cut out of the track, I don't want to take the shorts. But, if we're getting rain through the day, I'm saying, I'd probably entertain Wonderbar if that's the case. I'm sitting on the fence a little bit here, dependent on what happens through the day. Wonderbar if we're getting some rain, and if it stays dry and on the improve, I think Marway, obviously, the one to run down.
Yep, neglected to mention Wonderbar in the market as well. Best available, $7. Mark Rhoden, any thoughts there to kick us off in the quaddie?
Yeah, Wonderbar's the one I want to find, but it is going to depend on conditions. If the forecast rain does turn up, it's going to play into her hands quite strongly. Louise Day on board, I think she's won 2 races on the horse, so that's not a particular concern, her engagement tomorrow. But as I say, this is condition dependent. Firstly, that the rain does fall, and secondly, that they can make ground in the short course races. If that southerly's playing into the hands of on paces, Marway's going to be very hard to get past, I think. There's the obvious, and the market's found him, but Wonderbar's the one I would like to back, but only if conditions suit.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the pattern for the day, isn't it? A little bit of watch and see, depending on what unfolds. Race 7 is a benchmark 78 over 1,300 metres. April Rain, $2 is the best you're getting at the moment. You've got Dream Circle at $8.50, Night at $9. They're the horses in single figures. Mark Shean, April Rain, you backing or laying at even money, or are you just going to stay out of this race?
Looks a bit short to me. Look, I know she was very big at Gosford, and it was a very negative ride out of the stalls with a long way back there. I'm not sure that I could come at evens. Look, I've been on a nearly every start, I'd say, but that just seems to be a short quote to me. I know there's a lot of horses in this race which are resuming from a spell, so she might improve, and the others look a bit fat. I'm not sure. And a lot will depend on the parade for this race as well. I didn't mind Knight's trials. Thought this horse has trialled okay on a couple of occasions this time in. He has been unplaced twice on heavy ground, so probably a deteriorating track would be against him, big heavy type. So you just have to monitor there. If the track stays reasonably good, I think April Rain's certainly the one to beat, but I'm not sure I could come at that price. So Yukon didn't think it did much in its trial. They walked in that trial, so he couldn't get much of a guide, and I'm not sure that he'll get control here like he did in Melbourne when he raced so well down there. Excuse me. Dream Circle up 4 kilos with no claim, so good win the other day, but that is a big hike in weight. So Night, if the track's not too bad, I might have something on it.
Okay, and I think Rob Scurry was a little negative on April Rain first up as well at Gosford from memory, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. She didn't look any good. She didn't sweat before, and she sweated at Gosford. She looked pretty big.
Yeah. Okay, Mark Rhoden, your thoughts there on race 7?
Yeah, I'm more or less in agreement with the market here, unfortunately. I think April Rain's clearly the one to beat, but they assessed it correctly. I think $2 is very best. It's odds on most places. Not a bet for me at that price. Then I'm at Tonight as well in Dream Circle. Yeah, to bet against April Rain, though, to be honest, I'd need another negative yard report or a very strong push for one of the first uppers. I think. Yeah. The order I've got an April Rain, Night, Dream Circle, then out to Canasta and Invinciano, who were sort of good last prep, but they could quite conceivably just be here needing a run tomorrow. Round up. All ready to win first up. Tight market. I think the market's pretty right, and it makes it hard to bet, but April Rain definitely the one to beat.
Okay. The race 8 is an open handicap over 1,400 metres. Market has Brutality favourite at $4.20. Then you've got 11-11 and Bandersnatch at $7 each. Military Zone and Lena's Hero around that $7.50 mark. Royal Celebration's $9. True Detective's $10. Asiago's $12. Mark Shean, can you sort this race out?
Can't see much speed in this race, and for that reason I'm giving Royal Celebration another chance here. I think he's a better horse at 14 than 16, to tell you the truth, and he does like a bit of sting out of the ground. I think... I know Mark was a bit scathing of Andrew Atkins the other day, but I do think the horse took charge of the rider to some degree. He did give him a dig out of the stalls, but then he refused to settle. So I just think he maps nicely here. He's got a good record at 1,400, and I think he's a bit of value in this race. Look, I was on Brutality at about 25s there at Gosford the other day. That form does look outstanding, Brandenburg and Nudge. He does come back in distance, though. And is pretty skinny now at 420, and this is going to be probably a lot drier track than it was at Gosford, depending on how much rain we get. So he's going to be giving them a big start, so you'd want the swoopers to be coming home from the back there. So just for a bit of value, I'm going to land on the 3 each way Royal Celebration. Military Zone, not a bad run first up. Couldn't have True Detective. He's gone from, I think, barrier 1 or 2 to barrier 13 here, so I'll let him go.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, you're going to the well once more with Royal Celebration?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to relitigate what happened in the Scone Cup, but, it's A. Adkins off anyway, which is not a bad jockey change we've seen in recent times. That day, it was just a day, regardless of why he ended up there, it was just a day where it was impossible to be on pace. Yep. Every winner was swooping or coming from... off speed at least. He was totally unsuited. I think he's better suited here. I think he's backable odds. So yes, we'll chase the money there. I'm going back to Detective. The barrier is the worry, but I thought with the lack of speed on paper they might go forward. It's raced. It's not a leader by any stretch of the imagination, but it's raced handy, and if they just show a bit of imagination, I think it can run well with 51 kilos. It's coming off a second to Lost and Running, which is, I know a few horses come through that race, but that reads outstandingly, considering he's got no weight as well. Just ridden with a bit of positivity, I think it can run well. I'm going to take the gamble at the price anyway. That said, if they just decide... We heard Chris Waller say that his map is dictated by the barrier a bit, so if he's going to stick to that plan, it might be out the back and have a task. But I concur with Mark and Brutality. When I first saw the fields and saw Brutality 52 kilos after chasing Brandenburg and Nudge last time, that certainly reads well, but I think they've priced it correctly. And he certainly wants the softer the better for him. I think this is a pretty good race. I don't think it ends there for the ones we've mentioned either, but I thought Royal Celebration and possibly True Detective were the value.
Okay, we'll go home with a benchmark 78 over 1,100 metres. Malkovich is favourite at $3.30 with Hulk and Bellucci Babe at $4.80 each. Lillimore is $7.50. And that's well and truly the only horses in single figures. Mark Shean, anything in the last?
Well, this Malkovich is a speed merchant. He has been beaten twice on wet tracks, but both times at 1,200 metres. So he comes back to a more suitable trip on to 1,100 metres here. Look, he's going to go fast. Again, dependent on how the track's playing and how much rain we get with him. At this stage, I'd probably say I don't want to back it. I'm going to back Hulk again. I think he just got into the wrong spot on the turn the other day. Too far back, had to come wide. Doesn't seem like he can do that at Rose Hill at the moment. So I thought he was game in defeat there the other day after coming out slowly. So with all the speed in the race here, I think that Hulk will get a nice run. He should handle these conditions. He's raced well over the trip and also on the track before. So another one also who is very dependent on what it does rain-wise is Plaquette, much better on top of the ground and a very good run at Caulfield last start. So if the track stays reasonably dry without too much rain, Plaquette and Hulk, but Hulk on top for me.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, anything for yourself in the last race?
Yeah, well, I wanted to back Hulk and Plaquette too, and Plaquette has literally just come out.
Oh, hasn't it? Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it happened almost before my eyes just then. So, I'll be left with Hulk as well. But again, echoing what Mark said, if this big southerly blows up and these on paces are hard to run down, that's going to play right into Malkovich's hands. That's obvious. Same, very similar story to Marway in race 6. But if it's playing anything like fair, I think Hulk, Randwick 1100, gets his chance. Brandenburg has, not Brandenburg, what's he called? Malkovich has won at the Randwick 1100, but the race didn't break particularly well with me, and he sort of fell in that day. He will get tired in that last 100 if the track is playing fair and it is possible to make ground. So Hulk's the one I've found.
They did say Malkovich won on a 6 there that day, and it was dead set of 3.
No, yeah, it's not rain affected. No. On the times, it was not a 6. No, correct. But look, I mean, the point is, he was getting the staggers late that day too, even on the dry track. So left with Hulk. I wanted, I thought they put up a good price hit, but unfortunately we'll have to wait for another day with her. I think Lily Moore's half making the market a bit here because she's a leader and she's not going to get anything like control with Malkovich in the race. So things that have to fall into place for her to win, and I don't think they will. And Bellucci Babe's last run was good, but at 480, I think that's well and truly short enough. So, by a process of elimination and assuming a fairish track, number 7, Hulk.
Okay, very good. That brings us to the end. We'll run through any best plays you're having or thinking about on this card, or any other card for that matter. Mark Shean, I'll start with you.
I like 6 Gun in race 5. Now, he was beaten first up against older horses, but he was 4 wide and a limb outside the lead there. I know it's only one turn, but just got in a bad spot. Winner sat behind him, had the suck run. I think he's back to his own age here. Sting out of the track, no problem. Gets to 1,200 for the first time. And I think that'll suit him. So I'm going for him. Race 5, number 7 is my best.
Okay, beautiful. Mark Rhoden, any best play on the card?
Yeah, I've got one in the same race, and I wouldn't call it a best bet, more a value bet. Yep. It's number 6, Gravina, who was through a race at Scone, chased a very fast pace that day, and was run down on the line by Bravado, and Dynamic Impact, who ran, I think, 4th or 5th in that race, came out and won on Wednesday, so the form's holding up all right. Rhys Jones, I think this isn't his first ride in a blue jacket, it's one of his first, so he'll be out to impress, no doubt. The horse is in well with his claim and seems to map well, so double-figure odds I would entertain a small play on that horse.
Okay, I can back both quite happily in race 5. Sounds like a good plan. Thank you to you both. We'll catch up next week to preview the meeting from Rose Hill. It is. Until then, go well on the punt.
See you later.